This is the Khoa Bui Show. Khoa Bui is an author, international speaker, and entrepreneur. He started his first business selling music CDs in high school at the age of 16. He then went on and built several businesses. He is the founder of River Design, a marketing company that helps businesses get more exposure online and offline. He has appeared on TV, radio, newspaper, and magazines from around the world. He has written and published several books and created various products. Khoa Bui is also an international speaker, corporate trainer, and speaks on topics of business, entrepreneurship, motivation, health, marketing, and online business. You could check out his blog site at www.khoa-bui.com. And now, your host, Mr. Khoa Bui.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm awesome, my brother. How are you?
Yeah, good. Looking good there. Looking very sharp there. Yeah, how's your day been?
Hectic. I mean, I've been up since 4 this morning.
Oh, really? Wow. What were you doing?
We've got, there's a lot, because we've got a company in the UK, we've got a company in Asia, and we're starting one over in Australia as well.
Wow.
And it's just making, bonding the teams together so everyone's speaking the same language. Yeah. Because we've got our own supplement company as well.
Yeah.
So we're bringing everything into these big warehouses that we've got, and it's I'm kind of working between 3 different time zones at the moment, so yeah, it's all good though.
It's all good. Oh, well, at least you're getting there, right? How are you finding Manila? Pretty good?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing I'd say, I haven't seen anywhere in Manila. We've just been here to do the PR for the events, and they've been going great.
Okay.
When we come back on the next trip, we're seeing a few more of the islands, so then I'll get to see a little bit of the Philippines, hopefully.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Cool. All right, then. Skip Archimedes is an international speaker and coach who trains thousands of people every year around the world on living a more empowered life of fulfillment, financial abundance, success, personal achievement, health, and vitality. He has worked alongside titans such as Tony Robbins, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Richard Branson, and more. He has written several books and created online courses for people who want to transform their lives. I also really want to appreciate you for taking the time out. I know you're super busy, you're managing your companies as well, so I really appreciate today. And welcome to the show, Skip.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Great, no worries. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? So could you please tell us, your origin story? How did you get started in the world of fitness and leading this really healthy lifestyle and inspiring others as well?
Well, I just want to make clear, sort of straight from the word go, that there's a big difference between being fit and being healthy. When I was a gymnast, obviously I was fit, and what we're now seeing is professional athletes all over the world who are very fit, but they're having heart attacks and strokes and dying on the field.
Okay.
And so fitness serves the body, serves life in some ways, but what we're doing is we're creating a lot of acid in the body. In that process, we're eating foods, we're training really hard where we're creating the acid, and that acid is breaking the body down from the inside out. So even when I got the English title for sports acrobatics, I was very ill. I was covered from head to toe in eczema, I had chronic asthma, had lots of allergies to dust, to animals, to pollen, to grass, to so many things. And then I started my quest on realizing that, I don't have to live like this. I started to find people who had lived with these conditions and they got rid of them through smart lifestyle choices. So I went on a quest around the world and started to really understand that no matter what we're achieving in life, if we don't have health as the foundation, we've got nothing solid to build our dreams on. Because I started to find people who were super rich, but then they were dealing with health conditions, or they were super rich and their body was suffering at some level. They, maybe put lots of weight on, or their intimate relationships or their families were suffering at some level. And what I learned was that you create this balance in your life. And when you create that inner balance, not only do your manifesting powers become a lot stronger, but you get to enjoy the journey a lot more as well.
Wow. Okay. So you're saying that, so there was two parts of it. There was fit and being healthy. And then when there's people who look fit, that develops these acids within themselves, right? And then you recommend
some people, not everybody, but some people do, because that acid buildup, it can come from nutrition.
Okay.
It can come from toxic relationships. It can come from stress. It can come I'm here in Manila. I just have to walk outside, and there's traffic everywhere. So I'm breathing in those fumes in the air, which is going to have an effect on the body. So we have to make sure that we're having healthy lifestyle choices that allows the body to let go of this stuff. And this is what I love teaching people, because as soon as people have got this, because we now know we live in a toxic world. There's a lot of toxins in the foods that we eat. All these chemicals are sprayed on the food. There are toxins in the drinks that we drink. We are creating so much stress in the business world because of targets, because of deadlines, get that edge over the competition. And all of this stress and acid builds up, and it has a knock-on effect on the only thing that's with us from the day we're born until the day we pass, and it's our own body. So we have to make sure that we're feeding our body really good stuff, and it comes to nutrition, it comes to thoughts, it comes to emotions, it comes to having an empowering future, it comes to doing things in life that you love. I mean, there's a great quote that I love by Richard Branson, where he says that when you love what you do, you're never going to spend a day working.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, so, all right, so lifestyle choices, you just mentioned it just then about nutrition, your thoughts, and the future as well. So can you give us an example of good lifestyle choices that will, give you the...
so simple.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, when I was told that I was never going to walk again when I broke my back, I had given up. And the choices that I was making, because ultimately in life, nothing means anything until we pin a meaning on it. So we have a choice to pin what meaning we want on things, because two people go through the same experience. One person could be empowered and the other person could be disempowered, and they've had the same experience. So it's nothing to do with what's going on in the outside world. It's what's going on internally. So when I was in this machine, and I just believed that, okay, this expert, all these experts came in and said, look, we've seen this injury. People don't heal from this injury. You're never going to walk again. If you get out of this machine, you're going to spend the rest of your life in a wheelchair. Eventually, I chose to believe what was being told to me. And only when I heard about Bruce Lee did suddenly the light of hope go back on again. And one of the things that Bruce Lee it taught me was don't think, feel. And that's a very famous saying that, he said to the world, because most of our thoughts, we're making a movie at the moment, and we've got a guy in the movie who is probably one of the world's top psychologists. And he says that 90% of all people's thoughts and emotions now, according to the psychological model, are negative. And this is regardless whether you've made the money, whether you've got the cars, the houses, the planes, the toys. Because if we don't learn how to literally condition ourselves well through life, then life is going to beat us up, because we live in a very stressful world nowadays. And as soon as I realized that, right, don't think, feel. What does that mean? Does that mean I can choose feeling? Now, if we look at children are a lot more joyful, genuinely. They're a lot more happy, genuinely, than most adults. Why? Because they're not living up in their heads. They're in their bodies. Now, obviously we know that if we move our bodies in fun ways, these endorphins get released from the mind. It's a good chemical that gets released all around the body, and we feel good. Now, even at that moment when I wasn't able to move my body, I still learned that if I focused on something that made me feel good, that I liked, that I didn't have to be programmed, I didn't have to be conditioned, I didn't have to be taught anything. It's like, right, what do I like? Okay, you know what? I just want to watch something that's going to make me laugh. And we can have a choice now. We can put something on, and immediately something can make us laugh. Now, if we're in those states of joy, if we're in those states of appreciation, if we're in those states of happiness, which we choose, we think that happiness happens to us. We think that when I've got the cars, I've got the money, I've got the success, I've got the fame, I've got all these things, then I'll be happy. It's the other way around. What we have to do is we have to choose the happiness first, and then what happens is we've let go of the resistance, and we start to pull things from the fabric of our mind into this physical reality. And we have to take the right action steps, but how do we choose which steps to take? It's real simple. It's the ones that feel good, because inside us we have an inner guidance system. We have what we call gut feeling, our own intuition. Now, all of us are walking around with these smartphones nowadays. Now, you and I, we're connected over, we're doing a video conference call here. Now, with the device that I'm using, it's not plugged in anywhere. So if it's not plugged in anywhere, how are you and I getting connected? By something called Wi-Fi. Now, let me ask a question. Can you see it?
Nope, can't see it.
Touch it?
Yeah. Okay.
Can you smell it? Can you feel it? No. But what we know is if we don't have the Wi-Fi connection, then the devices that we're using, we can't get connected to the World Wide Web. Now, what I learned from Bruce Lee is that we are a mind, a body, and a spirit. Most of us have forgotten about the spiritual side of us, or we're connected to spirit in a weird way. And the thing is with spirit, it is non-visible, but what we know is that there are lots of non-visible forces, the non-physical forces on this planet. Like if you're going to listen to the radio, there's nothing physical. If you're going to, use your device and you're going to upload and download stuff, there's nothing physical, but it's nothing weird. And nowadays, if you don't have these devices, you're left behind. Well, the non-visible part of what we are is eternal. It's so powerful. And when we allow our own gut feeling to guide us on what feels good, we're always. I'm not saying that there's never going to be a challenge in life, because we live on a planet Earth. We're set up to be a planet of contrast. How do you really, really appreciate money when you've had none? If you get born into money and you've always had money, it's just what you're used to. And if you get spoiled and spoiled and spoiled, there's no appreciation to it. For me, why do I really appreciate this body that I live in? Why do I really appreciate health, energy, vitality? Why do I really appreciate that? Because when I was younger, I never had it.
Okay.
So when you understand that we live on a planet of contrast, and that our intuition, because all of us, we're on our own little mission. We've all come here to planet Earth to live out a different purpose. And when we find our journey and we start to live on purpose, the challenges are still going to happen. But what happens is, most of us, when the challenge comes up, most of us are trying to back away from the challenge. We're trying to go around the challenge. We're trying to go over it or under it and avoid it. Whereas there's an intelligence behind this game of life, and there is a infinite intelligence behind this. I mean, just think about the human, what we live in. What does our eyes? What designed our nose so we can smell? What designed our ears so we can hear? What designed our mouth so we can speak and we can taste? What designed us to... You don't just end up in a human body. Evolution doesn't just create this stuff.
Yep.
There's such an intelligence behind it. And when we learn to tap into our own intuition, our own inner guidance system, we have a connection to that intelligence. And that intelligence wants us to grow. So when it gives us a challenge, it wants us to go through the challenge so that we grow, we expand, and we become more by going through the challenge. Not being a victim where we get beaten up, but become a victor, so we have a breakthrough. Not having a breakdown, but you have a breakthrough. And this is the stuff that I love teaching people. I love connecting to this stuff, because at the events, it's not me speaking to people. I take people through these processes, and when they go through the processes, they get the connection. Just like the Wi-Fi connection, just like this to our cosmic creator, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, thanks for that. Okay, I just want to touch on this one. You said it's really important that you follow your feelings so you feel good, right? So you're saying, like, when you're in this state of you're feeling really good and you're doing something, you're on purpose, is it like you're sending like a signal, or like you're attracting something from the universe to, like, is that like the law of attraction? Is that what you're getting at? Or
that's pretty much it. If you imagine that we are, think about your phone. Your phone is wherever you go, it's receiving information from satellites up in the sky. Wherever we go, okay, how can I explain this in a really easy way? If your brain is kind of like Google. Let's look at Google, because everybody understands Google. If we type something in Google, let's say that we type love in Google, what do we 100% expect to receive? A whole bunch of files on love. Now, if we go in the same search engine, but we now type in pain, what do we expect to receive? A whole bunch of files on pain. It's a given. You wouldn't type in love and expect to have something trying to sell you cars coming up. It works. Well, Google if you look at the universe, it's kind of like an expanded version of that. Now, the way law of attraction works is it kind of works like Amazon. Now, everyone knows, Amazon. If you buy something on Amazon, you expect it to arrive at your door. Well, based on what we're thinking and what we're feeling, we send a message out there. And based on the message that we're sending out there, now this is 24/7. You can't have a break from this because the universe, source intelligence, God, whatever you want to call it, is connected to us all the time.
Okay.
So based on what we're focused on, because if we focus on the problem, then we become a part of the problem and we start to attract more problems in life. Whereas if we realize that as the problem's rising, we now know that where focus goes, energy flows. And if we just take our focus off the problem and we can open up to a solution, then as we just take our focus away from the problem, we're not becoming a part of the problem anymore. And then suddenly the solution starts to rise up. So with the universe or with law of attraction, if we get clear on what we want, now, adults, that when we're children, we're hungry. We have big dreams. We know what our birthdays, and we're hungry for life. But as we get older, and so, what do you want for your birthday? Oh, don't worry about me. And our hunger for life goes down. So one of the things that we have to get clear on is what do we want from life? Now, if we want financial abundance, if we want financial independence, if we want all the money, that because money's not going to get rid of your problems, but what money does is it does allow you to arrive at your problems in class and style. So why not? Because we live in an abundant universe. You just have to look at how nature's growing. It's growing everywhere all the time. So first thing we have to do is we have to get clear on what it is we want. And most of us are in a state where we just go, I just don't know what I want. So the first step is, what makes you happy? What makes you feel good? Because as soon as you keep doing things that make you feel good, and this is what Bruce Lee was talking about, don't think, feel. Feel, right? Because we're always going to come up to a place in life where we're going to have a fork in the road. We're going to have a choice to go this road or down this road. We're given free will, so we can choose where we want to go. So when we come to that fork in the road, the only thing that we can depend on is our gut feeling. But what will happen is, to a lot of people in this game of life, is the gut feeling says, oh yeah, this feels good, let's go this way. But then the brain kicks in and goes, hang on a minute, no one else is going down this road. Everybody else is going that way. We should be like a sheep. Let's go and follow. And you override the guidance system and you become a follower. What life is now, the more leaders. And there are times in life when we, of course, we have to follow, but we've got to lead ourselves towards our destiny. And the only person who can create that is ourselves. So at Supercharge Life, we get people clear on that.
That's great. All right. Okay. I'm thinking a lot of people, they're in their jobs. They're probably, they're not happy where they are. They're probably working, I don't know, in accounting. I'm just coming up with an example, right? Someone who's working in a job that's just there to pay the bills. But they've always dreamed of maybe becoming like a musician or something that, like you said, feels really good, but they're afraid to quit that practical job that pays the bills to do something they love doing. What would you recommend for them to do, or what would you, from your experience, how would you, guide these people to follow their heart, and go forward with, even though it's uncertain? Okay,
great question. So one of the key things is we have to live with passion, because ultimately, as human beings, we're on the hunt for electricity, for energy, 24/7. The more energy that we have pulsing through us, the more alive we feel, the more energy that we can put into our own mind, our own body, our own relationships, our own passions, our own careers, our own, into life. Now, if there's people out there and they're in a job now that they may have people depending on them, they may have wives, they may have kids, or families dependent on them bringing in a certain amount of money. Now, as we become better leaders, we can take on more responsibility. Now, the key thing is, and I literally just had breakfast with someone who teaches people how to work, how to trade, and she's a multimillionaire. She's created many, many multimillionaires, and I said to her, how do you deal with your stress in your life? She went, oh, you're not going to believe this, Skip. She goes, She goes, not many people know this about me, but I love to knit.
Okay.
And I was like, right, okay. And she said, but I just love it. I'm passionate about it. Now, the key thing is what it does, because she said that you can't knit and be focused on the stress of the business, or be focused on the stresses of life, because otherwise you end up with a hole in your knitting. Whereas when I'm focused on this, I'm really focused on something I'm passionate about. Now, if it's someone who, say, like you said, is an accountant, and then they have a passion to be a musician, they can start off doing that in their spare time, because work's going to be a certain amount of time, but then we have free time. We don't want to work all the time. We want to find other things in life that we're passionate about, things that have you not focused on your work or your career at all, because when you do the things that you're passionate about, when you then go back to your work, you have better focus, you have better productivity, you have better creativity, and you enjoy it more. Because just work, things are going to be completely out of balance. So there's always a transition. I don't say to people, it wouldn't be good advice from me. I have top clients, and sometimes I tell them to make the leap. But it's because I know what they're surrounded by, and I can sometimes see what they don't see. Now, it would be very unprofessional for me to just say to people, yeah, go and take the leap, just follow your passion. But there may be consequences to that. So what we want to make sure we start to do is, as they're loving their passion, loving their, playing a musical instrument, but they're an accountant, they're a banker. Now, if they're good at what they do, and people start to invest in them, or they might get invited to go and play somewhere, or they might record something, and then suddenly people are, oh my God, I love this, I want it. There can be a transition from building this up as a business, because one of the challenges that people have is putting their passions into something that brings money in.
That is, yeah.
There's an absolute art. And one of the challenges that we found in this game of life is that so many people are focused on the science of success. And there is a science to success. And this is what we're going to, plug people into at Supercharge Life. But if it's just success, then what I found is that people have become so successful and they've become top of their league, but they're still unhappy. They're still unfulfilled. And there's a simple thing that goes with it. Success without fulfillment ultimately equals failure. So what we want to make sure we do is we start to focus on the art of fulfillment. We've got to find out what makes us good. Now, suddenly that might mean that they might be following their passion, that something that they put their heart and soul in, and then they might be able to look at some things in their business and actually find more things that they like. Because the beautiful thing about this game of life is when we change, the things we look at actually change as well. Now, what I mean by that is suddenly there can be someone in a relationship and they might be having a challenge in their relationship. And they might be looking at that person, seeing that person as a problem, seeing it as something heavy, seeing it as something that triggers off all these negative things within us, and they're seeing them as the problem. But then suddenly they might learn something themselves and realize, oh my God, this is actually, I'm the one who's creating these thoughts. I'm the one who's creating these meanings on it. And then suddenly they realize that what they thought this person was doing or saying or believing wasn't actually the case. And they change their way they look at them. And I've had this happen with many, many people at the events. People come and they've got really bad relationship problems. They change. They start to elevate their consciousness. They start to raise, and it sounds weird, but they start to raise their vibration. And I mean, just like that, they start to bring in more good vibes into their being. And suddenly, them and their partners, they connect on a high level and they fall crazy head over heels back in love with each other.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I remember when, a few years ago, I was going through a lot of challenges in business and, as we all do, it's ups and downs and everything, but it really took its toll on my mindset, and it really made me feel negative and pessimistic and everything. And then it started attracting a lot of negative people into my life. But then there's one morning I just woke up and said, look, just got to stop. Just try and be more positive. Try and look to the bright side. Yes, that happened to me in the past, but you got to try and, get out of this funk. So then I started programming myself, listening to motivational stuff again, inspirational. And then I started being more positive, and then I noticed that I started attracting more positive people in my life, and people messaged me, from around the world, saying all these great things. And then, I just thought that was really interesting when you sort of just like what you just said is about when you change how you feel about when you change the way you see things, other things change. So yeah, I think it's really interesting what you just said. So yeah, thanks for that. All right.
I just want to expand on it, because what you just said is such a lifelong lesson, because there are so many people out there who they're living where you was, and we've all been there. You've been so depressed before I learned all this stuff, and just thought, my God, this game of life just sucks. I don't like me. I don't like life. I don't like people. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like my body. And I was focused on the problem. Bringing more problems in. This is how law of attraction works. And I don't want people to think, oh my God, he's talking weird, woo-woo stuff. Law of attraction is just a law that's as real as something like gravity. You can't avoid gravity. You can't live without it. Like, I'm on the 44th floor at the moment. No one can stand on the top of this building and say, you know what? I've got all the money. I've got the success. I've got the happiness. I've got the joy. I've got all these great things in life. And I think I've learned how to get rid of gravity. No, you're gonna come crashing. And so when you learn how to, what certain laws govern this planet, and you get in alignment with them, things happen. They happen in a good way. And we're attracting things all the time. But we have to ask the question, am I part of the problem, or am I trying to be taught something that's going to allow me to become part of the solution? Because when you realize that you can become part of the solution, as you would have noticed, your self-esteem starts to go up. Your confidence goes up. You start to enjoy this game of life, and you start liking waking up in the mornings, because a lot of people are waking up in the mornings now, and they kind of wake up, and their first 10 seconds is, they're in that snuggly phase, and there's
snooze button.
Lasts for about 10 seconds. Well, I can tell you now that feeling can last your whole day, as you're starting to understand.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. All right. Okay, so I want to touch on another question as well. So, you mentioned before that when you were just first starting, you broke your back. Is that right? So you broke your back, and then you watched Bruce Lee, and then he said something really inspiring about follow your feelings, right? So what was going through your mind at that point that just shifted it? Was it just that one quote from Bruce Lee, and then you just repetitively?
No. So basically, what happened was when I'd given up all hope, I really had. I'd given up hope. You could walk as well. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't an area of life at that point that I could focus on that was bringing me some good feelings. And it was because of me, not the situation. And after 4 months, I heard about Bruce Lee, who many people don't know this. He broke his back. He was in traction. He was told that he would never walk again. And he not only did he, was he a movie star, but he became so fit. And he left a legacy, even though he died young, and he was very fit. That's the difference between being fit and being healthy. And what he left behind was so much greatness because he walked on this planet. And I thought, right, if he did it, why can't I? And he just gave me that little. So I started to study Bruce Lee. And in that moment of studying Bruce Lee, he opened me up to the power of the body, the mind, and the spirit. And I studied people like Krishnamurti, Confucius, these people who've left timeless wisdom on the planet. As soon as that information, I say information, it's like there's wisdom, we're drowning in information, but we are starving of this wisdom. And this wisdom started to come in. It just opened me up to new possibilities. And when we become the change, life tends to open up to us. And it just gave me hope. And after 6 months, 2 months of literally flooding myself, absorbing this stuff into being, I just opened my eyes one day, and I didn't know how, but this thing just breathed through me. And it was like, you're going to. And it made no logical sense. I mean, life doesn't make any logical sense. We can't work this game.
Predict it,
But what we can do is, because we're players in this game of life, we can literally play the game in a way where we can create heaven on earth, or we can create hell on earth. Both are within our reach. And what he did was he gave me so much belief that it was possible. And after taking those 3, I got them to take me out the machine. After taking those 3 steps, I never went back in that machine. And it wasn't just, I was holding these bars. I was totally assisted by my arms, but these legs moved, and I took 3 steps, and it blew my mind. It blew my mum was there. She fell on her knees crying. I was in tears. It just proved that we really are limited by our mind. And when you can go to you can connect to your spirit, you open up your imagination. And as Einstein said, imagination is way more powerful than just knowledge and information. And I took 6 steps the next day, 12 steps the day after that, none the day after that. But if, it went up and down, up and down, up and down till I was walking, running, jumping, and the body healed with no surgery, no operation, no medication, and the body healed super quick. And we sat down with the family one day, and my mum just said, "My God, we've just witnessed a miracle happening. What are you going to do with your life now?" And I asked myself that simple question: what do I love? What feels good? And what came up was, well, I didn't even say anything. She just looked at me, because there was only one thing I loved, gymnastics. She looked at me. She was like, "You better not be thinking what I think you're thinking." And I said, "Mum, I have to do this." And she goes, "Well, what if you break your back again?" I said, "If I break it again, I know how to heal it." I said, "That's what I've got now. I know how this thing works." And we are way more powerful than what most of us are tapping into. And I went back to gymnastics, and that's when I got the English Sports Acrobatics title.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. All right. So, so I was listening to your interview yesterday. It was really good, by the way. And you said that you can change your future through the power of your beliefs. So could you please just elaborate a bit more on the belief systems that, that you can,
Sure. So most of us, because what happens is information comes in to us. And depending on what our belief systems are, that information gets filtered. It's almost like, look at your belief system like a projector in your mind. So that projector is going to project this information out here. It goes through your belief system and then projects it onto your mind, and then that gets released within your body, and your meanings get pinned onto those situations based on your belief systems. Now, we pick up belief systems from our families, from our schooling system, from friends, from government, from TV, from our education systems. These belief systems are almost given to us. Now, if I said to you, right, you said, right, let's do an interview, Skip. Now, if I said to you, let's do this interview on one of the first computer systems ever devised, you'd be like, it's not going to work. We kind of that's not going to be able to deal with, what we need to do here, because I want to do it on video. And one of the first computer systems would not have allowed us to do a video conference call.
True.
Now, a lot of people's belief systems are like outdated apps. They're like outdated computers. They're not serving anymore. But because they've been handed down from generation to generation, there's so much going on these belief systems that we kind of get born into them, and we stay on that treadmill. It's like being on the hamster wheel. Whereas you start to realize, okay, is this belief system actually working for me? And it might be a belief system around money. It might be a belief system around success, around health, around wealth, around happiness, around family life. It can be, all of the areas of life that we get connected to. We have to understand what the belief system is. Now, one of the things that I do at Supercharge Life is we connect people to more empowering belief systems. So what that does is it opens them new possibilities, and it lets go of the inner resistance that's literally pushing things away. Because the way life works is, if we launch one of our dreams, we have an intention that we want to manifest, and it might be, right, I want to have a great mind, a great body that's going to be healthy, it's going to have energy, I want to create tons of money, so I'm never going to have to worry about money ever again, and I want to be able to have lots of great adventures. I want to have lots of great relationships. I want to have a great family. All of these intentions that we put into life. Now, if our belief system is not serving, what will happen is life will present us with an opportunity where it's in front of us, but in the system, we don't even see that opportunity. It literally doesn't even come up on our radar, but yet it's in front of us. And let me give you an example to explain what I mean, so people can understand. Let's say that when we were children, and your mum says, right, go and put the salt and pepper pot and put it on the table. You're like, what? Go and get that salt and pepper pot and put it on the table. We're now about to have dinner. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, go and do it. I don't even know where it is, Mum. You just said, I don't know where it is. That's your belief system. I don't know where it is. And walk into the cupboard. I don't even know where it is. God, I don't want to do this. I don't even know where it is. You open up the cupboard. Mum, I can't see it. It's not even there, Mum. I can't see it.
Yeah.
And then your mum comes and she takes it and it's right in front of your eyes. And you're like, where did you manifest? How did you do that? It was there, but you couldn't see it. Because what happens is this phenomenal computer system, i.e. our body and our mind, it is the most phenomenal computer system on the face of the planet. But as most of us found out, it's not user-friendly. Because we get given it, but then we have to learn how to condition it in the right way and program it in the right way. Now, just with our computers and phones, if they get a virus, we get rid of the virus and it starts working fine. Well, these belief systems that are stopping us seeing these opportunities, they're stopping us taking action, going in the direction that we want to move in, it all comes down to our own belief systems. So we have to learn how to literally update our own apps inside of us to serve us in this present moment in life, because all we have in life is the present moment. And what a lot of us are doing is we're dragging stuff from the past into the now, heavy stuff, problems, experience that we once had when we were children, and we're carrying them, and they're really heavy. And then what happens is we start projecting into the future negativity. Oh God, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and we're creating these illusions of stuff that isn't in the present moment. So when we can really be in the present moment, we can start to see the opportunities that life is giving us, because we're not just up in our brain saying, I can't see the salt and pepper pot, I can't see the opportunity, I can't see the money, I can't see the love, I can't see this, I can't see that. And this program is just spinning and spinning and spinning so fast, and we wonder why we're not manifesting our dreams. So at the event, we help people that thing that's spinning, we get them to stop it. We get rid of it, and we start to install new openings, I suppose is the easiest way to put it, so that they can start to live the life that they dream of. And it's not hard. It's a lot easier than what most people think. This is not where people have to learn this stuff academically. I'm not going to fill their brains up with stuff. So they are, as we said earlier, they're drowning in all the information, but they're starving of wisdom. And I mean, I want to show people ways at the event where they can instantly learn things 10 times faster in a heartbeat. Literally,
wow,
in a heartbeat. Because our brains are so powerful when we're in control of the brain. If we allow our brain to make our decisions, then every time your brain is going to keep you in your comfort zone. It's a mechanism in the brain that was given to us for survival. It's like, how can I explain? Okay, let's say that we're walking down a street and you've got a set of headphones on and you listen to your music, you're getting down, you're feeling good, and then all of a sudden a lorry is spun out of control and it's coming to you. Before you even have a thought, bam, instinct is going to get you out the way. You didn't even think about it. It was instinctive. And it's those instincts that we want to allow them to guide us through life, so that the intuition comes in, the gut feeling comes in, it goes through our heart. We pin love on these things that we do, because if we're not loving it, it's probably beating us up. So we have to find ways that we can pin love on things, because we know that there's a crazy game of life, and we just have to look at the love that a mother gives a newborn baby. It's unconditional. But is that baby through the journey of life going to give that mum challenges? Of course. So we know the challenges that happen, but we always have the choice to love or not love. That's our choice. So when we put the love into all of the things that we enjoy doing, and then we feed the brain, what happens is the whole of the brain becomes activated, not just a part of the brain. You can spend 20 years going to be a Buddhist monk, or you can just allow your intuition to guide you. You pin love without conditions on the things that you're connected to, and the whole of your brain lights up, and all of a sudden you're starting to live what I call a supercharged lifestyle.
Wow, that's really amazing. So you're talking about channeling your energy and like just harvesting it and just conserving it, and then eventually it just all these opportunities will come to you, and then you feel more energetic, and it's just like a positive spiral effect, isn't it? It's just it just compounds over time, and then you get all these great opportunities. Yeah, that's great. All right,
and you really start to get momentum going, design you want, because I'll use this as a metaphor. Let's say that we've got a hill here, and we've got a car on top of the hill. Now, if you and I was on the top of this hill and we're looking over life, we become financially independent. We're crazy head over heels with our life partners that we've chosen. We're happy with the adventures that we've got in life. We're happy with our family life. We've created some balance, and we want to start testing life a little bit. Now, let's say that car is on the top of this hill, and I take the handbrake off the car. If that car moves literally just a meter or so, I can stop that car no problem. Now, if you said, right, I want to test this even more than you, Skip, and you said, let me just run down the bottom of the hill and let me see if I can stop the car at the bottom of the hill.
No thanks.
Exactly. What's going to happen? That car's going to come down and bam, it's going to take you out of the game. Now, what most people have got is momentum going in a direction that they're not enjoying in life. So like life is kind of like, it's like the car going down, bam, they're getting taken out of the game, every single day. So what we've got to do is we have to stop that momentum. Then we've got to start getting momentum going in the direction where people want to go. And for everybody, it's a different journey. We're all here for our own journey in life. And there's nothing better than plugging people into a journey where it's fulfilling, it's rewarding. And when the challenges come, instead of them being weak, they get to step up and go, you know what? I can deal with this challenge. You know what? I'm grateful for this challenge because I know life is trying to teach me something. I don't know what it is yet, but I trust in this game of life, and I'm going to do everything I can. And when you go through the challenge, as I mentioned earlier, you grow, you expand, you become more, and only then can you turn around and go, wow, I'm so grateful I went through that challenge. Like with me, with my broken back. When some people hear about the story, they go, oh my God, that's so terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm like, are you crazy? I said, that was probably one of the best experiences that life could have given me. And what I want to say to people is that inside your challenges is empowerment. Inside your challenges are blessings. Inside your challenge is some golden nugget that when you go through it, you get that golden nugget, and then you've got it for a lifetime.
Wow, that's amazing. That reminds me of I was reading this book. It's by Adam Khoo. He's a speaker based in Singapore, and he was analyzing successful people and other people as well. And he said that the old model is you work, you make money, then you work. But successful people, they do what they love to do, then they earn money, and therefore they continue doing what they love to do. So it just keeps on getting better. And he said that also when you do what you love to do and you're on purpose, it sort of like generates the this natural energy that you just summon this energy that you can even work till morning because you love it so much. You don't need to, you don't need sleep anymore because you love what you do. So I think what you just said before about being a bit fit and healthy, you have to have that purpose is exactly that's spot on. Is right there. It's like you got to
One of the questions you asked me, how's the day been? And I went to bed about 12:30, 1 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
My eyes first opened at 4 o'clock, and then I actually got up at 5 o'clock. I just I lied this up, did a meditation, and what you find is that when you genuinely really do love what you do, and you feed the body what it needs. And then, this is all the stuff that I'm going to teach people at the event. What happens is you recover so much faster, because the reason why we need to sleep is so that we can give the body a break, because we're picking up so much negative stuff in life that we need to rest to get the body back in balance so that we wake up with the energy, with the mental focus, with with what we need to go and live that day at our best. If we're not living life at our best, all it's showing us is that we've got more things to learn.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so could you tell us a bit more about the event that you have coming up as well, and what you're going to be covering there? Yep.
Sure. So the event is called Supercharge Your Life.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's like the easiest way to explain this is like with our smartphones. We use them, but what happens is the battery starts to go down, and it starts to go down, and then when it starts to get on that like 3-4%, if you've got to upload and download stuff, we start stressing. Well, most people are living life with that type of energy on a very low key. So what I basically do is like plug in the charger back in, because when it's charged up, it can be used fully. So what I do is I take people through a journey where they peel off the masks that aren't working for them anymore. And by taking them through because this is not going to be an event where I stand up on stage and I speak at people.
Oh, it's interactive.
It's very interactive. It's what I call experiential learning. Through the experience, they get to learn. When we learn, we grow, we expand. And if we're not learning and growing every single day, a part of us actually feels like it's dying. So we're going to do the flip side of that, and they will be learning more in that one day than what a lot of people learn in 10, 15 years of living a normal life. Wow. So in that one day, it's all condensed down. It's a lot of fun. They're going to be around, and what's so beautiful at this event as well is I get to see how people come in as individuals. I get to see the beauty of the human race leaving. People are more connected. People start seeing what's great about themselves. They start to fall back in love with themselves. They get connected to, I don't want it to sound weird, but they get connected to certain frequencies on this planet. Now, just like if you listen to a radio, you can, tune into a frequency of dance FM. You can tune into a frequency of classic FM. You can tune into a frequency of rock FM. You just turn the dial and you turn into all these different frequencies. And when you locked into one, that info or that record, that song, that channel, it comes down. So what I do is I plug people into these frequencies where when they're in these frequencies, they start to attract more money, more success, more happiness, more wealth, more all the good stuff that we want to be living with. And, if people do want to find out more about it, all they need to do is go to superchargerlifeasia.com. Yep. It's a page that we've set up, and there's videos on there, there's information on there. And it's, as I said, we've done this all around the world. I run events now all over the UK, out in Europe, in Spain, out in Thailand, in Bali, in Singapore, in Malaysia. We're launching here for the first time in the Philippines. I've never brought these teachings to the Philippines, and people are going to leave supercharged. There's no doubt. And it's not a gimmick. This is not a fad. It's not one of these yo-yo diet things that works for a little bit and then it doesn't. When people have been gifted these tools, they have them for their life. And, if they do want to, and we're doing the events on June the 10th, June the 15th, and June the 17th. And we're doing it in Manila, in Cebu, and in Davao as well. Yep. And so all they've got to do is go to superchargerlifeasia.com and they can find out more information and register on there.
Fantastic. So it's superchargeyourlifeasia.com. Yeah. So you go there.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I think there's a number. So to register, you go through PMCM Events Management as well, right? So it's 0995 281 3320, or you can check out the website, superchargeyourlifeasia.com. Fantastic. So if people want to get in contact with you personally as well, how can they get in contact with you, by the way?
Well, one of the I've got a YouTube channel which is just under Skip Archimedes, and I'm putting free videos on there all the time. If they want to come and join us on Facebook, again, go to Skip Archimedes on there. Again, I'm giving so much free stuff away. We do live streamings where people can actually, connect with me on there. And it's, come and join us. Come and join the community.
Fantastic.
I'd say it's a new movement. It's not a new movement. It's almost like we've forgotten how to live in the 21st century. And all I'm doing is I'm bringing back this timeless wisdom. I'm bringing back like these forgotten secrets of success. And when people start to get a little bit momentum they start to realize, oh my God, I actually thought I wanted this. I focused on it. I got it. And you can start to do it on bigger things and bigger things. And before you know it, if financial independence is one of the things that you want, you can attract it and enjoy the journey, because a lot of us are focused on the destination and we're beating ourselves up on the journey, because we're seeing, like, well, some people around the business world, they're having heart attacks, they're having strokes, they're getting these illnesses, the stress is breaking them down, they're in bed sick, and what's happening now is they're sacrificing their health to get their wealth. And when you live supercharged, health is the foundation of that. And the way I look at health is very different than most people out there, because, I mean, we're just seeing this happen all around the world now, that the first sign of a heart attack is the heart attack. And I don't know if you know this, you know, it's like you don't even get a warning signal now. It's just boom, the heart shuts down. And if you're lucky enough and they get you to hospital, they might be able to, you know, save you. But most people are out of the game. And do you know when, and this was global, didn't matter what the country is, what time of the day, when do you think most people have the heart attack?
Probably during work.
9 o'clock Monday morning.
9 o'clock. Oh, there we go. So it's all mental.
Which is when most people...
Yeah. Well, so you're mental. So it's really all mental.
Yeah, so you know, so their work is literally killing them. So what we have to do is we've got to make sure that we are giving ourselves what we need so that we do become supercharged, so that we can deal. I know it sounds crazy, but you can deal with more stress. You can deal with more responsibility, not where it's weighing you down, but where it starts to empower you. You know, Richard Branson didn't get all this, you know, what he's got handed to him on a plate. He had to work this stuff out. Tony Robbins didn't create his empire by just tripping up one day and stumbling upon it. He designed, you know, they design it that way. You know, Andrew Lloyd Webber didn't end up being, you know, one of the most influential people in show business that you know, literally created half the shows on Broadway, half the shows in the West End, and became top of his league at what he did, loving, you know, and all of them, they love what they do. And I've had the, you know, the fortune of working with all of them. And it's so important that people learn this stuff, because if not, it's too easy to fall into the trap of life. Yeah,
that's so true, because, I mean, I can't remember who said it, but I think it was Albert Einstein. He says that energy can't be destroyed, it can only be transferred. And yeah, if you think about it, everything is all energy. You know, we can, if you take like a business model and give it to someone with low energy, they're not going to be able to execute it. But with someone with a supercharged energy, you know, they'll be able to do this, tackle all this stress, and, you know, be able to execute all these procedures, all these type of things, because they have that energy. So I think, you know, what you're going to be teaching in your event is going to be absolutely awesome. So yeah, good work on that, mate. Awesome.
It's a life changer. It really is. Yeah. And, you know, you're so right in what you're saying. And I've been at these business events, and, you know, I'm continuing to, you know, educate myself all the time. And I've seen so many people at these business events where they give them a great strategy, they give them a great tool. Yeah. Some of them can use it and be empowered. Some of them do nothing with it. What's the difference? The person. Yeah. Until you learn how to supercharge yourself up, the business world will eat you alive. You know, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And we just had this this lady come on one of my advanced courses, and we get I don't know if you get the TV show. I think it's called Shark's Tank in America, but in England it's called Dragon's Den.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
So she was one of the dragons on Dragon's Den. Okay. And she just said, you know, what you're teaching, Skip, the corporate world need this so bad, because if I would have known this stuff back in the day, it would have saved me years of mental and emotional torment that you go through in that world. And learning about us should be the number one thing. And as you learn about yourself, and you can start to connect that energy to your business, to your personal relationships, to the adventures in your life, suddenly you wake up feeling like one of the richest people on the planet, and you get to enjoy life breathing through you, even when there's challenges. Because one thing we know about this business world is that the market is changing so fast. Now, if I use the metaphor of, say, someone sailing down the sea, if we're sailing down the sea, we've got the wind behind our sails, all of a sudden, if that wind changes direction, what do we have to do as a sailor? We've got to be flexible. We've got to be able to move quick. We've got to change that sail in a certain direction so that we can keep that wind behind our sail and then move, we carry on moving on. Well, as the market changes in the business world, and with technology, it is changing so fast. Yeah. If you only know how to set your sail in one direction and that market changes, you're going to have no wind behind your sail, and all of a sudden, you're going to stop. You're not going to move on anymore. So we've got to learn how to adapt fast, and one of the key ways to do that is to bring in flexibility. And again, all of these things, I'm going to plug people into all of this stuff at the event, so that no matter where the market's changing, no matter what direction the wind is blowing in, you can always have that wind behind your sail. And I know it sounds a bit of a cliche, but you can literally spread your wings and you start to fly with the projects that you're connected to.
Fantastic. All right. So once again, guys, it's superchargeyourlifeasia.com. So go check it out. And it's going to be an absolutely amazing event. So once again, thanks a lot, Skip. I really appreciate your time and coming out and sharing your wisdom with everyone. I know that everyone's going to learn a lot of great things from you and be able to supercharge their lives. So yeah, thanks a lot for that. Really appreciate it.
Absolute
all right,
pleasure.
No worries. All right. Well, I'll chat to you soon and take care, mate.
Thank you.
All
God
right.
bless.
Thank you. Bye.